Hi, welcome to our Belgrade Photo Month live talks. Today, we're going to talk with a very particular and very, let's say, beloved photographer for Belgrade Photo Month team. His name is Mohammad Rakibul Hasan. He is a documentary photographer, photojournalist, filmmaker, and artist. And we consider Hassan like one, and I think that not only us, like one of the best photographers from Bangladesh. He is more known for his documentary and photojournalistic work, but he has also a very nice artistic work that you can see in his website. Hassan has been granted a full scholarship from the World Press Photo in the Netherlands to study a postgraduate diploma in photojournalism at Ateneo de Manila University. He also studied for a certificate of higher education in history of art at the University of Oxford as a part-time student between 2015 and 17. Recently, Hassan has been working for various media organizations based in Asia and Australia. In fact, he has been and you can visit his website because you will see how many awards he won. In fact, if you follow him, you will see that how many announcements of awards or publications of his work. It means he's very active and his work is so good to be all the time there, cooking and going up. I would like to say also that we had the honor to have Hassan work during the Belgrade Photo Month 2018. We present his project, I Am Rohingya, the black and white photographs of what he was working there. You can see also in his website, he has other very, very interesting projects if we talk about documentary work. One is called Magnitude 7.8 Nepal, a message from God, that is about the terrible earthquake that it happened there in 2015. Then he has also another project, Nobody But the Fireflies, about the genocide in Bangladesh. Then he has other projects like Wave and Salt that they are mainly talking about the extra climate conditions that are happening in Bangladesh regarding floods, typhoons, etc. And then today, what we will do is we're going to focus, he will talk us about his experience, of course, in the work, but also we want to focus in the case of the Rohingya. Why? Because this disaster situation that we are going to introduce with him very soon is still happening. It means it is not past, it's present and it's future. And not only this tragedy that they are suffering from 2018, or a bit before, is also something that they are suffering now again and really more strong with the COVID-19 situation, and also recently with the typhoon that they had there, that what I was reading is one of the strongest in the history. Then I'm going to introduce Hassan to us, and we are going to start the conversation with him. I am trying to put your audio on, Hassan. It takes a bit time. Not yet. We cannot listen to you yet. Wait. I don't know why it happens. Last time it happens a bit the same. It takes a bit long to put on your audio. Yes, not yet. Wait. Is our situation? It's not your fault. Yes, now you're here.
Okay, hello David, and thank you very much for inviting me here. And thanks to my audience and your audience who are listening to this conversation. It was wonderful experience actually when you have selected to exhibit my Rohingya project in 2018 in April. So I have been covering this Rohingya refugee issue since 2017, when they have started to come from Myanmar to Bangladesh. That time the exodus actually happened. Myanmar army actually wanted to evacuate those people and wanted them to leave the country to go to other countries because
Hassan,
of the
Hassan, let's go to the one thing. Let's go to explain the situation of what happens with the Rohingya from Myanmar that they move to Bangladesh. Let's go to introduce to the audience the situation that happens there. Let's start. Why this let's say human movement, this genocide and everything start? Which is the reason?
Yeah, the reason was Myanmar people, they thought that these people are actually Bengali people, but they have different culture and different race, and they are different kind of tribe, and they are minority Muslim over there. And more than 200 years ago, they actually shifted in Myanmar. But because of their ethnicity and religion, most of the people in Myanmar are Buddhist, and we know that Buddhist people are very peaceful, but in that case, they are very violent. I don't know why. So we have to think about it, how they become so violent to those minor Muslim people, because those people are actually very silent and very, very peacefully. They have been living over there for over 200 years. But suddenly it's probably due to business and other intentions probably those political people have. So that's why they wanted them to leave the country, and later they started to come to Bangladesh in 2017. So that was the reason. And when they came here, it was like 1.4 million people actually came here, and those are the majority Rohingya people in Myanmar used to live there. So now they have started living in the Rohingya refugee camps. And during this COVID and Amphan cyclone, and I have been there to cover the COVID situation in Rohingya refugee camp just 2 weeks ago. And I saw that there were now 19 people are infected with COVID-19, and one died today. And more than 15,000 people are in quarantine in Rohingya refugee camp. And the situation is very worse. And during the Amphan and a lot of NGOs and Bangladesh government also tried to protect them. And it is good that there was the Amphan actually did not hit that Cox's Bazar and Rohingya refugee camp, but there was a heavy rainfall, and I had to cover the stories over there during the rainfall in the camp. So it was a very different kind of situation right now over there, because COVID is there and people are very scared, and most of the people are not very educated because Myanmar government never allowed them to go to the high school. So that is another problem, to make them understand what is COVID and how to protect themselves. But a lot of NGOs are working over there, and government is working over there to educate them, to keep them safe. So that's the thing I recently experienced over there. Thank you.
Let me ask you, because when you mention the numbers, they're not so big. I mean, when you think in Europe or China, they're not big numbers. But are they doing tests? Because sometimes the numbers are not big because they're not doing tests. You know, they are doing tests there.
Yes, because of the test, because test kits are COVID test kits are not that available in our country, but NGOs and government are trying to test them. So it's a matter too. But 15,000 people, Rohingya people, are in lockdown and in quarantine, and 19 people are infected, and one died today. So that's what I told you. And in Bangladesh, overall 52,000 plus people are infected, as far as the report I have seen in the newspaper, and about 750 people died with the COVID-19. And we don't have much COVID test kits to test more people, so the case should be more, I think. So
I suppose.
Yeah, it's gonna rise pretty soon.
Yeah, let me ask you, when this movement of the Rohingya community from Myanmar to Bangladesh start, I mean, of course, they did it for any reason, like everybody. Means the people in Europe, sometimes we are thinking that the people want to come here to be in Hollywood, but the people is dying in their countries, and they are putting in risk their life to emigrate. Then I want to ask you, it means I know that they were suffering a lot in Myanmar. It means, do you think that all the pushing to them from Myanmar side, it goes just to put them out of Myanmar to send them to Bangladesh, or the genocide started before and they just want to kill them? What do you think? That was the starting of everything.
Yeah, the genocide actually started from a long time ago because they probably had a plan. Politically, they had a plan, I think, and they started ethnic cleansing long time ago. And these people started coming to Bangladesh since very long ago, probably before 1971. In 1971, our country Bangladesh is born, and you know that we are a part of Pakistan. And before that, those people actually used to come here to live here. All right, and Myanmar government and other Buddhist people, normal Buddhist people, general Buddhist people, they did not actually accept those people since a long time ago. So this rage against them actually happened a long before. So it has been started in 2017 very seriously, and they started killing them. They started raping them. A lot of Rohingya women got raped over there, and I have took photograph of the lot of rape survivors and the survivors of the people who got shot in their hand, in their legs, in their chest. So there are several cases. Even there are infants, they were bombed over there. So they wanted to flee to Bangladesh because we shared the land border over there. So that's why they actually come here. So they have no place to go anywhere. So there is a sea and the river. So they had to cross the sea and the river, and they had to walk. And I found many people, they had to walk like 200 kilometers to reach at Bangladesh. So many Rohingya families already lost their father, lost their parents, and lost their immediate relatives, and every family over there lost someone. So this is really a tragic case in my life. I witnessed it, and I found a lot of Rohingya women who got raped. They had to give birth here because they have no understanding about the birth control thing. Because on the other hand, they're Muslim and they got never went to school, so they don't know about these things. So they had to give birth. So they already have war child too. So how they're gonna handle this thing in future? There is still under traumatic condition, and those children will, when they will, grow. So how they're gonna get accepted by their community and the society is a big question for them too.
Yeah, let me talking about when then, let's say, fortunately they arrive to Bangladesh. I would like to ask you, and I will read something. My question, it will be, how is the situation there? Because I know that there are several camps. I was reading that on 2018 June, World Bank announced nearly $500 million in money support to help Bangladesh address Rohingya refugees needs in areas including health, education, water, blah 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 blah. It means this money is arriving. How Bangladesh can manage this amount of refugees? Because it means, of course, it's not easy for a rich country. For a big country, it means in a place like Bangladesh, you know that is not big, is not Japan in financial way. How is the situation going there?
Bangladesh is a developing country, and we already have a lot of problem in our country too. And we have a lot of poor people in our country too. And we are one of the climate victim in the world as well. And our coastal belt is highly highly prone to the climate change, and it is going to be submerged. Some of the coastal areas are going to be submerged by 2050. Scientists expected that. Anyway, Bangladesh government is trying to help those unfortunate people properly, and they're maintaining. They have already put the army to control the camp and everything, and for their security, there are polices as well, and there are other forces as well from the government, and a lot of NGOs are working, and they have made the platform, and Bangladesh Army actually made roads for the road to go to the Rohingya refugee camp, because those refugees used to start living on the hilltops and in the hill, and they had to cut the trees and everything, the forest. There was a reserve forest. They cut it, and we had to shift those people over there. So and a lot of local people and the government forces actually, and the NGOs actually help them to build their houses as well. And there are a lot of internal schools and other medical facilities they have put over there. So it is very difficult for Bangladesh to control everything, and I think that Bangladesh government and our prime minister did very well, because she accepted these Rohingya people and told that they can come here and they can stay here, and they will help what they need. So they are in a condition though, but they are living and trying to cope with this situation, and the government is also trying to help those people. And if UN and other organization wants to make any further plan for them, and government is negotiating with them how, and suggesting them also that how these people can be can live properly. And also Bangladesh government is trying to put pressure on Myanmar to take these people back over there and to give them their rights and citizenship over there. So Bangladesh government is advocating for those people too.
It reminds me when we are talking in Europe, and with all the refugees from Syria, that there are neighbor countries of them that they are poor, they are assisting millions of them, and in Europe we are still fighting for who take 3,000, and at the end they took 200. But okay, I want to ask you, do you have, can you show us any image of how these camps look?
Would you like to see the picture from the Rohingya refugee camp?
Yes, if you have. I mean, it's been time with all, we can see.
Yeah, I do have.
And then you can be showing us photos, and then I would like also to ask you, and how and when and why did you start with the photography?
All right, sure. I'll share my experience too. So yes, let me share my images.
Yes. Meantime, I will say that please, for the people
just
who is watching.
Just 1 second. David, you have to enable the screen sharing.
Yeah, I understand. Sorry, yes, I true. I don't know why this. Yes. I just want to say, I want to say meantime that if somebody has a question for Hasan, you can do it in Facebook. I am following the conversation. If somebody has a question for him, he will be very pleased to answer or to share. Okay.
So this is the photograph. So when Rohingya refugee people started coming to Bangladesh, and this is the border of Myanmar and Bangladesh, and you can see there is a smoke over there. There's the Myanmar part, and those army, they actually burned their Rohingya people's home.
Wait a second, Hasan, can you open big the photo, for example, the 16, that will have like a global view of the camp?
Okay, let me check the overview.
Yeah, because now we see your folder. Meantime, I will say that this exhibition was exhibited in Vozidarach in 2018, and the people who saw the exhibition, they were really impressed with these images. Also our team, because they are hard, they are very strong photos, images, but this is the reality. I hope that soon Hasan will not have something like this to show, but
You see, David?
yes, perfect. We see.
So this is the overview of the Rohingya refugee camp. 1.4 million people live in several camps over there.
In total.
In total, yeah. And it's a very big place, miles after miles.
It means every camp is like a small city. Means the streets, of course, are like this, but these houses is not like a camping tent. It means it's something like a wood structure or something like this.
Yeah, they have built this structure later with the help of Bangladesh Army and NGOs. So Bangladesh Army actually made that road. So the place is hilly, you know. So they had to make it flat, and they have to build the road too, so that car and the truck and the other vehicle can go over there. So that's how it is maintained right now. So this is the current scenario of the camp. So let me share some.
Yes.
So can you see this picture?
Yes.
So this is the recent picture when the Amphan cyclone happened in the camp. So I was there. I started taking picture over there, and a lot of volunteers and other army and other NGO workers, they started helping them and tying all the things, because there was a very high wind and heavy rainfall.
Did the houses survive? It means they keep well, more or less.
The cyclone did not actually hit the Rohingya refugee camp and in Cox's Bazar, so they are safe anyway. Okay. But there was a heavy rainfall anyway, because if the rainfall happens, because they normally lives in the hill, so there is some cases of landslide and things, so that also harms, break their houses, and sometimes people get killed. So nothing actually happened anyway, so this is good.
Okay, yes, except that the heavy rain, that is not something easy, of course.
Yeah.
Then let me ask you, and we will go back now to the Rohingya, because we are going to talk about this today. How do you start with the photography, and why photography?
Okay, this is an interesting case, and I first, after graduating from my high school, I was very fond of, I used to paint, and I used to write poetries. Yeah, and I used to read a lot of novels, and I used to watch movies, and I used to sing as well. So I did a lot of cultural things in my school, and so I was highly devoted to art and painting, actually, and writing. So then I I went to India, and I studied a bachelor course in sociology, and later I went to Australia to study film at the University of Sydney. When I started filmmaking, that time I had to take I had to buy a still camera, and that time I had to buy a film camera. There was no digital camera at all, and my professor gave me some assignments to make a photo story so that he can understand his students, that they can tell a story through images, still images. So I did, I bought the camera, and it was a Pentax MZ60 camera. That was my first camera in my life. And I had to learn it, how to use it. I never used that still camera. I used film camera, a reflex, and other stuff. And then I produced a photo story, and I found that it is very interesting. And that time, in 2002, I was crossing the ocean and nearby Opera House, and that time the Iraq war was going on, and a lot of protesters, they climbed up the sail of the Opera House, and they wrote "No War" on the sail. And those activists got caught, and I was on a boat, and I took the photographs. Oh. No War on Opera House sail. All right, so that's very interesting. And I later found that those two guys got sentenced for 5 years jail. So I thought there is a power in a still picture. And next day I found picture from other photographer in the Sydney Morning Herald that no war on the sale of the Opera House. And I realized that still picture also has got a power to tell a lot of stories too. So it doesn't mean that it has to be a motion picture always. So then I never left my camera. I started taking picture, and when I finished my course and I came back to Bangladesh, and I started taking photographs rather than making films. Though I work as a documentary filmmaker, and I have produced a lot of documentary films for the NGOs and other organizations. But my main intention and my main motivation, I found that I have to tell my stories through my still images, and it is very powerful, and it is very important to raise the voice of others, those who don't have voice either. So I'm like an advocate, and I'm like a messenger that I reflect other people's voice through my pictures, so that the world can be changed, and the world can witness through my camera and through my lens that how other people are living. So it has to be changed if they are unprivileged, or they are under any oppression or anything. So this is very necessary to tell the stories to the world, because we cannot travel the whole world at a time. So this is very important. And photographers are like messengers. They provide the visual message to others and to the world, so that everyone can see and everyone can take the decision, everyone can get educated, everyone can get awareness. So this is very important. So that's why I love taking photographs, and I always love to reflect those people who are underprivileged in the society. So I want their life to be changed, and I want them to be in a good position. So that's why I do photography. Thank you, David. Can you hear me, David? Hello.
Hi, sorry, I had a problem.
No worries.
I don't know why the system put me out. We are still on live, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I don't know what happened, but the system put me out, and well, here I am again. Okay.
I didn't. Something happened probably. Anyway.
Okay. Then keep going on. Sorry, I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
Did my audience listen to what I said last time?
I suppose yes, because
can you give me a clue?
Yes. Sorry, in between, I wanted to ask you something that is yes. I suppose that the matter that you learn how to make a movie, filmmaker, and the point that you were writing, I suppose that it was helping you to know how to build the story, how to start, how to go on, and how to finish the story. It means the language of the story, the storytelling somehow, that it's helpful for the photography.
Yeah, storytelling. Storytelling is a kind of art actually. So everyone wants to hear a story. When we, after our birth, when we were, growing a little bit older kid, and that time our grandma and the mother used to tell a lot of stories to make us sleep. So that's how we started to know the stories. So there are several ways of telling stories. There is a linear way of telling stories, and if you remember that Eugene Smith's country doctor, that was first probably published in Life magazine. So he probably showed that story in 28 or 21 days. So there was a doctor, and how did he help the community, and how did he treat the people if they're sick or anything, and what is his personal life apart from that, and what he feels when he's in the operation theater, and after the operation, when the operation is done, what he feels then. So this is the theme. So we have to make a segment, that it must have a starting point, and it must have a description, and it must have a outro, like conclusion. So this is the basic. So this is the basic three parts of the story. And in the middle part, you can put a lot of things. You can put suspense, and you can put action, you can put conspiracy, you can put a lot of things. So this is the way. And sometimes if you see the Hollywood movies, like, sometimes you can start your story from the present time, and you can go back to the past. So this is another way. So there are several ways. If any photographer wants to tell stories, they should actually read a lot of literature. The first thing. The second thing is they should watch a lot of movies too, and they should see a lot of works of other documentary photographers who tells the stories. So they will find a clue, and they have to develop their own style to tell their story. So that's the thing. In movie is like a duration based, it is like 120 minutes or 90 minutes movie. But in photograph or in painting or like 2D art, so you have a start point, you don't have any end point. So end point is up to you. So how long you will, watch or see a picture for how much time, how long time. So it is up to you. You can see the picture for 10 minutes, just as it's a single picture, it's a single photograph, or you can see it for 1 hour. It's up to you. And you can come back to that picture several times, and you can see again. So it will give you more information, and the picture will invite you to get into the picture. So picture has a power too, and you are a human being, and and you have intelligence. The day by day, you will learn a lot of things, and you will find new things in a picture too. So this is the way. So when we tell stories through still images, so still images, telling stories with still images is a little bit difficult, and sometimes the continuation of the story is difficult too, because we also have to put the caption under each photograph. If you don't put the caption under each photograph, then it's gonna be a big trouble over there, because it's a documentary, it's a journalism, or it's a reporter, and sometimes you have to put a breathing image to engage the two frame together. So you have to put another third image in between them to get a connection over there. So it's a matter of practice, and it's a matter of learning a lot of things. So how you're gonna tell your story, and what would be the color, and And if you decide to tell a story through monochrome, so there are a lot of shades as well, and there are a lot of grades as well in between the black and white. So, and another thing is the format of the picture. If it is a square, if it is 3:2, if it is panorama, or if it is something else. So you have to remember all of these things, and you have to take the decision how you're going to tell the picture. If you just think about Andreas Gursky, the German fine art photographer, Andreas Gursky. So Andreas Gursky's photographs are like monumental. Those are not, those pictures are not series. They are not in a series. It's a single image, but it tells a lot of stories. If you just think about the Rhine 2, the most expensive picture of in history, the Rhine 2. So you will see that there is a Rhine River. Rhine River is probably everywhere. Through the Europe, it is. So in Rhine 2, what he did actually, he made his memories. So he was brought up there in beside the river, riverside area. And later he found that there are a lot of industries and a lot of people and a lot of cars goes over there. And he was very romantic guy. So due to his romanticism, he wanted to find his childhood river again in that period. So he decided to manipulate the picture, and he made the segment, and he made a monumental picture. It is like aerial view, and it is like God's perspective. So it's a different kind of picture, and it is called big picture. It's a very big picture. When people stand in front of that picture, they'll be haunted by that picture. So this is something different. So we have to think about a lot of things. What would be the size of the picture in real life? So that is another decision too. So in 21st century, we actually see the picture in our mobile phones. So mobile phone is a small device. So this is not actually the appropriate thing to see a picture, to understand the picture.
Let's keep doing exhibitions to show them in a bigger format.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Not even a book. I consider that to see a picture, a photograph, or painting, we actually should go to the museum or in a gallery. So gallery is the place, and it is a substitute of the temple. So when we go to the gallery, you will see nobody talks over there, all right? Everybody is silent, and everybody is seeing the picture. So just think about the old temple or anything else like that, religious, and everything is painted there. So think about the church. Everything is painted over there. When you go to the church or in a Hindu temple, we see so there are a lot of paintings and drawings. So this is like the alternative, galleries, and the museums are alternative temple of art. So we go to the gallery, we have to feel that, essence of the space, and we can feel the picture over there. So this is very important, the environment and the atmosphere. So, and the storytelling, what you told me to talk about. So storytelling is a complex thing as well. On the other hand, it is a simple thing as well. So there are two kinds of.
I thought in this part, because like a documentary photographer, okay, means we are always talking about the things with any photo that we do. But when you are building a story with a documentary work, of course, you are talking about the situation. You're talking about the situation of the people or whatever. And then of course, the storytelling is very important. For that reason, I thought that the fact that you were learning for filmmaker, that I suppose that educate you in this way, and also writing, you need, for these two other disciplines, you need to have this knowledge about the storytelling. And then I suppose that is an advantage for you comparing with another person who took the camera in an instinctive way, and he started to take the photos probably to the same facts that you are shooting. But you, at the end, with the material that you have, you will know better, you will have the facility, thanks God, that you were doing these previous things to explain better. Better, easier, however you want to call your story. It means you have this language already in yourself.
Yeah.
No? And then going back to the Rohingya, of course, this is something that is happening in your country. It means you don't need to fly to Kuala Lumpur or to Madagascar. It means it's something that it was happening around you somehow. When did you start to work in this project? And what, I suppose that you were in, like, I feel you like a emphatic person, human. You want to talk about, I suppose, and to show to the world what was happening there, because not so many people knew it before. And how was that you start to work there?
I started to document the Rohingya refugee project in 2017 when they have started coming here. The exodus happened that time. So I'm still covering every year. Couple of times I go over there and I shoot over there and I check and I talk to them and what is going on. I always read a lot of information about them, and I'm also connected to other Rohingya people too, and the Rohingya leaders too, so that I can cooperate with them and I can help those people to get back their rights. So, because it's a matter of human rights, you know, and justice should be served to them, and it is very important for the world to give back their rights and give back their land back to their hand. And this is very important, and the world should put more pressure on Myanmar to take these people back to their country, because these people are their citizens and they deserve their rights over there, and they deserve betterment over there, and they deserve education and medical facilities over there, and they should be treated as human beings as well. So this is very important. I understand.
Can you put some images meantime we talk, to see the people, to see your work?
Let me check.
I just say that we have quite a lot of people watching our talk and listening. If somebody has any question or any comment, you can do it in Facebook, and then we will read it and we will ask for.
Can I see the picture?
Yes, I will say that this is a very different work that I saw of you, by you always, about the Rohingya people.
Yeah, this is also from the Rohingya refugee Rohingya refugee project. These women are actually rape survivors, and her name is Hamida Begum. No, sorry, she's not Hamida Begum. She was raped by Myanmar army, and later she managed to come back to Bangladesh. And when I took her photograph, I took her consent first that I'm gonna use her name and the stories and her face. So she agreed, and she told me that she wants the justice. So that's what she wants, and she really wants the justice. And that time when I pressed the button, she started crying, and I said, "Okay, sister, I'll take the picture of you later." And she said, "It's okay, you can take the picture." And then I started taking the picture again. So in this picture, she's actually crying.
We see her. There are the tears, yes.
So let me share another picture from this series.
How they react when you ask to take these kind of portraits? Because obviously in other photos that we saw and you are going to share, we see the people walking by there or living in the camp, but this is a proper portrait, kind of basic stage portrait. It means they have to go there for your portrait.
1 second.
Yes.
Check.
I think that if you open one, you can move with the sides to the next. Yes.
Her name is Sanora. Her name is Sanora Begum. When she was raped, she was under 18. She was raped by Myanmar army. And recently she got married with a Rohingya man. And that man knew that she got raped, and that man accepted. And both of them were in love. Later, they met in Bangladesh in the camp. And so this is a nice story. And she's trying to get recovered from the trauma. When she talked to me, and she said, I don't want to talk about it because it's a traumatic situation. And I didn't ask her about the rape and anything in particular, but she also told that she really wants their rights back, and she really wants the justice, and she really wants what happened to her. It should be you know, the Myanmar government should be convicted for them, and I later continued photographing the rape survivors over there, and also wounded people who got shot by the army and other you know, forces from Myanmar.
Yeah, let me ask you, there is any possible way that to make justice for them, do you think? Because of course they are all asking for justice, but there is any option to do justice for them? I mean, somebody can judge this guy from the army.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, because a lot of people are working on them and working on this issue actually. And if the powerful countries, you know what I mean actually, the world leaders, the countries which are very powerful in the world, they should actually come forward, and they should put more pressure on Myanmar to provide these unfortunate people, to give back their rights, you know. So that's how they can regain their rights, and they can go back to their own country. So otherwise it is very difficult. They have to live here. So this is not good thing in a way, because the population is 1.4 million, and it's gonna be increased day by day. And these people will not have access to university, you know, and other facilities too. So it is not a good idea to put them in a refugee camp for a long time, you know, generation after generation. So this earth actually, everyone belongs to this earth. So yeah. So this is our earth we live on, and we are human beings.
Yeah, can you stop to share the screen that we have your Word document?
Okay.
Well, yes, now we have the folder with the portraits. Okay,
do you want me to share some more picture about it?
Yes, please share as many pictures as you want, because it means we're talking with you that you are a photographer. Then it's a pleasure for all of us to see your work. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is another picture. She didn't want to show her face, but she was fine with her name and stories to share. So that's how I photographed her.
you know, sometimes it's more strong when you don't show the face than when you show the face, when you hide.
Yeah, it depends. It actually depends. Sometimes we don't need to show the face, you know, for the dignity and other purposes. So this is very important. And sometimes we can show the face if you can remember the picture of Kim Phuc, the Vietnam picture, the girl,
Yes.
you know, shot by Nick Wood. It was a Pulitzer winning picture, and the girl was fully naked, you know, running from the uh, yeah. So later she became a physician in Canada, you know. So the picture has a power. So it is very important to know
Well, of
that
course,
picture has a power.
depending the picture, of course. Okay, you can be showing photos as many as you want. Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
let me check the
I,
other one.
I also read that in one moment Bangladesh was considering, for one side, the point to cannot accept more refugees from Myanmar. Then another point, I read that they were planning to put them in one island that can host a lot of refugees in the island. And then also the recent information that I read, it was like they are in negotiations with Myanmar to take them back. Of course,
Yeah.
with some rights, obviously.
Yeah, the problem is we actually don't have much land and we cannot give much support. So that's another thing. And in our country, we have a lot of problems too. So the world should understand about this, and the government has allocated an island over there and made a refugee camp over there. So these people, government wanted these people to go over there, but most of the people denied to go over there. So newly arrived some Rohingya refugees, probably around 40 or 50, they actually are sent to that island. And during this Amphan, it was very prone to the cyclone and other, you know, typhoon or some kind of natural disasters. So I think government is considering not to send them to that island. I think.
Yeah, it's what they read
So
that it looks like it was a plan, but it
yeah,
doesn't work.
yeah. Because of the weather, in summer there is an adverse weather, you know, so they won't be able to live over there. So it's gonna be a very tough for them. So government has to think something else, and UN also has to think something else about it. UNHCR and other organizations like IOM and yeah.
When you ask to them, when you ask, for example, to this woman that we have now in the photo, which is their wish? Okay, first they want justice, but if you ask to them, their wish is to go back to Myanmar or to keep in Bangladesh and to feel safe against army, Myanmar army, etc., etc., etc.
These people, I have spoken to many Rohingya refugees, and they said, most of them said that they want to go back, but they want their citizenship back, and they want their rights back, and they have to be treated as a human being and as equally, you know, equal rights with the other citizens over there. So if the Myanmar government ensured them this clause and ensured them that they won't be harassed over there again, so then they are willing to go back.
Okay, and do you know if there is a kind of pushing by the international community, pushing them to Myanmar to accept them and to give all the rights? I am talking about Europe, for example, the States, China, I mean, this Russia, these bigger actors in the world today. Are they pushing somehow or dealing something, or just the NGOs?
Including the Bangladesh government and some of the other countries, they are actually trying to, put more pressure on Myanmar, but it's not much actually. So there are powerful countries in this world, and they are a little bit silent, I think, and it is very difficult for Bangladesh to make everyone agree to put more pressure on Myanmar, because it's a global politics involved in this thing, and the land Rakhine, where they used to live, these Rohingya refugees people, the Rakhine land has full of natural resources. So that's the thing. There are a lot of rare material under the soil. So that's another problem. And a lot of countries like China and other countries, they're very interested to grab those kind of things. So that's another problem. So that's why they're getting support from the big countries like like China and other countries. So that's a big problem for this unfortunate Rohingya refugee people. So other countries are not actually willing to put more pressure on Myanmar. That's why even India is not willing to put more pressure on Myanmar. That's why, because they have a business treaty with Myanmar. So that's another thing. So I'm very I'm not sure that how long these people have to stay in this Rohingya refugee camp, but I hope that someday will come and these people will get their rights back and they will be able to go to their home. And yes, this is very important to go to their home.
Let's wish the same. Can you keep showing us photos?
Yeah, sure.
These portraits, how did you shoot these portraits? You did it in a tent with the black, of course, with the black fabric in the back, I suppose?
I actually brought my portable studio over there, and then I shot with the black background. So that's how I shot it. Let me show you some more picture. Can you see this?
Yes. Yes, we see.
So she's also a survivor, and she's very strong and bold, that she's very vocal, and she wanted me to deliver her stories to the world, that she wants justice, and what happened to her is very important. And let me read the caption of this image. So her name is Badu Begum. She got raped by Myanmar army in 2017. The government never recognized Rohingyas as their citizens. She lost her husband, and he was shot by the army. So that's the story of her. So this is a very pathetic story. And another picture I'm going to show you is and she also got shot, and she cannot walk properly anymore, even cannot sit on the chair or anywhere. So it's very difficult for her to, walk, even go to the bathroom. So, and she was raped by the Myanmar army. So, and she also lost Let me check with the caption. She lost her father. Myanmar army killed her father too. So that's the story of her.
It is insane because when they are moving to another countries because they are living a hell. But this story is not just somebody who is moving out from Myanmar. Means there has been raped, there has been husband's father killed, there has been shot. It means it's incredible.
Well, let me show you another picture.
Yes, we see.
For young children and her brother-in-law were murdered by the army. And she was raped too.
Yeah, before in one moment you mentioned, because unfortunately, I mean, all these women has been raped by the fucking army.
Yeah.
By the soldiers. You mentioned one that recently married in the camp and she's happily in love with a guy.
Yeah.
We know that sometimes it's not easy depending the societies, the communities. And for these women, when they has been raped, of course, they will carry this trauma probably for all their life. But they has any social problem after? It means they are accepted by family or they are refused by family, by other men. How is the situation for them?
They're accepted by their family and their Rohingya community too. And this is very interesting. I found that they're very sympathetic and empathetic to their own people. And they have very good family ties and neighborhood ties among the Rohingya people. So this is very interesting thing, and I found they're really very good human being inside and outside too. So they are not like ferocious, what Myanmar normally claims that they're very bad people or something like that, ferocious, and they do have rebels or something else. They probably don't have something like that because it's Myanmar wanted to, cover something else to show the world that these people, have a rebel and they are trying to, to fight with their Myanmar army or something else. So that's why the clash and the riot happened over there. So it is entirely, I think, not true, I guess. Probably some of the people are, because they are already oppressed and by the army, and they are very captive over there. And even in Rohingya Rohingya people, they told me that in Myanmar, when they used to live over there, they were not allowed to go outside after 6 p.m. Yeah. They must have to go back to their home and live over there. They are not allowed to go out after 6 p.m. So this is some kind of restriction. So they were in some kind of curfew in their own country. So this is not good at all. And they were always monitored by the Myanmar army over there. And everywhere in Rakhine, there were many army camps. So this should not be, the thing for the people. They're human beings. They are not animal or something else that you're going to eat them. So this is this is something really bad thing happened to these people. So the world should notice it properly and put more pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. Okay, let me ask you, can you show us, or if not, I mean, I can try to do it by myself, but better you show us your website, because the people will get familiar with your website, and then probably from there you can show us the Rohingya project that in fact we show in Belgrade, more or less. That is, I think, that the material that you have in your website.
Yeah, sure.
I will tell you, saying hello from Tanila Bisyash Munia, who is watching.
Hello, Tania. How are you?
Yes, there is also friends of you. Fahim Ahmed probably is a friend of you.
Yeah. Hello, Fahim.
A lot of people around here.
Yes. Website, yes. Pues,
Okay.
This is my website. So this is very old. I actually don't have much time to, organize this thing. So this is the home page of the website.
Yes. Okay.
So I can see
well, I will say everybody can be, because yeah. Wait here. Wait a second. Okay. Well,
right.
In the beginning, in the presentation, I talk about the different series of your documentary work. They are all included in this photo series section of the website. They can enjoy a lot all the stories that you built. And now here we are in the project. Okay.
So this is the project Rohingya have been shooting since 2017. So these are the photographs.
Wait, don't go so fast. Can you go to the first? Go to the top. Tuk, tuk, tuk. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You can, if you push, it will get bigger probably. If you push the photo, it means if you click the photo, it will get bigger. Yes. And then we can go one from the other probably, because these photographs, they are impressive. The situation there is impressive. And I still remember how we were all the Belgrade Photo Month thing when we were hanging this exhibition, because of course I prepared them for printing and then I saw them before, but a lot of us not deeply. And then I read the day when we were hanging them, it was, the people was very impressed. We were ashamed to cannot bring you to Belgrade. Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Like this.
Yeah. Next time I'll definitely join some other Belgrade Photo Festival.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
Here we have the, I suppose that they are the refugees moving around. Yes. This is part of the daily life of them, no, I suppose?
No, this time they actually, this man Ahmad actually had to walk over 100 miles, and that lady is his mother. He had to bring his sick mother, like that. So that time he was entering into Bangladesh.
But then, let me ask. This photo and the previous photo is the people going from Myanmar to Bangladesh. They are not yet in the camp.
No, they're coming from just Myanmar and entering to the Bangladesh, and they don't have. They couldn't able to bring anything except their life.
It's what they see. They means they bring their life, the clothes, the family, and their dignity, of course.
That's it. See, that's it. So in the foreground, the lady got her baby, you know.
Yes. Yes.
So that's it. Even barefoot, because they had to walk miles after miles, and after that they had to catch a boat to come to here. So it was very difficult for them to come here, and they had to spend a lot of money for that because the boatman over there, you know, Myanmar boatman, so they charged too much for that. Yeah.
One question, can you go back to the previous photo?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the cover. Yes.
Yes. One question. What we see in the left, that there is like a cloud, it looks like a bomb or not? Or is just a smoke from a brick factory or something like this?
No, it says smoke. That part is Myanmar and this part is Bangladesh. It's the border area. And the Myanmar army actually burned their houses over there. So when they pushed them to evacuate the place, and the army burned it so that they cannot go back. So that's the strategy. It was a strategy, like they started firing, they raped, they beaten the people, and they burned their house and they burned their crop field so that they cannot go back anymore. So they will get the fear of life, so they will not come back. So that was their strategy over there. So it is very harsh.
Absolutely, understand. These are the traces of being burned or something?
Yes, she got bombed, and the army actually took her earring, you know, like snatched. So that's how she got cut in the ear, and she was severely burned. And I took her photograph in Cox's Bazar hospital.
Sure.
And they burned her alive in her house. And later she managed to escape, and she got totally burned, you know. And her name is Noor Fatima. She's 6 years old, and this young kid actually, they bombed her home, and then she was on the first floor. They got a wooden 2-story house, and she jumped from the roof, and then that's how she got broken her 2 legs. And she cannot walk anymore.
Not in the future? No?
No. She cannot walk anymore. And I do have connection with her family, her father and mother. And when I go to Rohingya refugee camp, and sometimes I pay my visit to see her, and I bring some chocolates and something for her. It is in the hospital, and her relative got injured, got shot actually. So he was under treatment. And this baby actually 1 year old, and they bombed their house, and he got totally burned. And I don't know, I couldn't able to trace him later. I don't know whether he's still alive or not.
Yeah.
And it was shot in 2017. And the army actually hit him by their bayonet,
Yes.
So yeah, he got cut here.
Incredible portrait.
Yeah, this lady got her husband in the hospital. He was beaten severely, and very old man.
In general, it looks like they don't have any problem that you take any photo to them, no?
Actually never encountered with any photographer, I think, in their life, because they were captive in Myanmar, you know, and even a lot of them never heard of birth control pill or anything like that. So they were totally detached from the modern world.
Yeah.
And they probably didn't have any internet connection over there or something like that, not even television.
Yeah.
And they are not allowed to go to high school. So this is something very different, and you know.
Yeah.
And this boy got hit in his eye. And I found this lady, and she is over 80 years old. And she told me she just arrived a few hours ago in Bangladesh from Myanmar. And she told me, I understand their language like 30%. It is pretty little bit similar to Bengali language, what I speak in, as my mother tongue in Bangladesh. And she told me that she got fever. And I said, well, I checked, I put my hand on her forehead and I checked her fever, and I found that she got fever. And she said, can you tell me where I can find a doctor? And I said, it is very far from here. What I can do is I always keep medicine with me when I go outside for shooting or anything. And I gave her a strip of paracetamol, and I gave her a bottle of water. And I said, okay, you can drink this. And I gave her a pack of biscuit because I don't know whether she eats something or not. So she has to eat something before taking the medicine. And then she said, thank you very much. And then I left her from that place, because a lot of people are like during that time are under the similar condition, and I don't know who to help or what to do over there. And I was wondering and taking picture, and sometimes I talk to them. If I find anyone looks very vulnerable, then I approach to them and I talk to if I can help them anyway. So that is very important. Apart from taking the photographs, it is very important for a photographer to look after those underprivileged people, to listen to them and talk to them what they think and what they need. If we can help them instantly, that is also very helpful. And we are, we always stand for that over there. And we can make connection to other people or NGOs so that they can get the help over there. So this is very important for us to do our job. And
Of course.
so she was crying over there when I found her. She was crying, and she couldn't able to talk much because she was in too much trauma that she had to leave her home, and she had to leave everything what she got in her life. It is very hard to change a place, your own place. She used to believe that Myanmar was her own place. She was born there, and suddenly she had to flee from her own country. So it is unbearable pain inside. And when they arrived first time, they were too tired because they had to walk very long hour and long way. And these kids are too tired and couldn't able to, probably didn't find any food to eat. So they were sleeping. This is on the hilltop, and they started to make their makeshift camp, and they started to cook something to eat at the end of the day. It was in the evening.
The NGOs, I suppose that they are giving some basic foods for them, I suppose.
There were a lot of people. They bought cooked food for them, but there were many, and that food was insufficient. So that's the problem. And local people also helped them too. They provided them bamboos to make their makeshift camp, and they provided some kind of plastic clothes or something so that they can make a like a home or something instantly. And even they provided food, and they provided raw rice. So that's how they helped over there.
Well, every help, I think that is a very big thing.
And this picture I shot from my car, and this young Rohingya refugee girl was knocking my car window to get some help, because you know what, these people are not beggars. They never did begging in their country. But when they arrived here, they couldn't able to bring any money or anything precious or any gold or anything else. So they were starving. And when I put down the window of my car, and she told me that she needs some food, and then I gave her some money so that she can buy some food.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of hands actually, and there are a few people. They were distributing some instant food, cake, and something else, but there were many actually, and the food and supplies were insufficient. And this Rohingya women was wondering why can she go with her sick kid. And it is very depressing to witness this kind of trauma, and listen to their stories too. It is too much. And
when you go there, how many days are you there, or you go and you go back the same day to your home?
Sorry?
When you go there, when you go to the camps, you are around there for a few days, or you go and you go back home the same day? It means I don't know how far you are living from there.
I live in Dhaka, and the camp is situated in Cox's Bazar district, and it is too far from here. It takes like more than 12 hours to go over there to the Cox's Bazar town, and then another 2.5 hours to the camp. So
then, when I go there,
when I go, I at least I stay like 7 to 10 days. So that's how I manage. And next week I'm going to visit again.
Next week?
Yeah. And this girl is lost. Sorry, David.
Yes, I want to say that I suppose that you need a time to recover yourself after this, of course.
And this girl is lost. in a place, and she was looking for her mother, and she couldn't able to find her when I met her over there. And I don't know yet whether she found her mother or not, because a lot of people, lost their kids when they arrived in Bangladesh. And these pictures are color, and I also use some color pictures. And this girl was shot by the army. And he was shot by the army, and later he was in hospital in Bangladesh, and doctor had to cut his one leg. And same thing happened to this boy as well. And this is another boy who lost his parents. And I found this girl when they arrived in Bangladesh. She just arrived like 2 or 3 hours ago that time. And she was terrified. And this is the makeshift camp. And this picture I already showed. This is another picture of the raped survivors. All of these are raped survivors.
These portraits, these color portraits are more new, no? I think that when we did the exhibition, you have not yet these photos.
No, I shot it. In 2018 in November, so that's why you didn't find it. Yeah.
Oh, because they are new, of course.
Yes. So these are the color pictures, and these are the children. These are the war children. Hang on.
Yeah. I saw recently also from, I think that is from the Rohingya photos. I think that you shared something in Facebook. I don't know if you can share it today or not, or you want or not. Some portraits, because I saw it very fast, of the people lying flat and then the food and things next to them. It looks like a new series.
Which one you are talking about? The Rohingya series from there?
I think it's possible. It's possible. I saw it very recently.
Okay. Recently, I did a couple of stories on COVID, actually. So,
Okay.
did you mean? Let me check. Second. You mean this one?
Yes, this area. Yes.
Okay. This is my recent stories named "The Last Savings." You know, the Bangladesh exports garments to Europe and USA. We have a lot of garments factories in Bangladesh, and we earn a lot of foreign currencies from garments exporting. And our main buyers are European and American. And 90% workers of the garments factories in Bangladesh are women, and they are from villages. This is the interesting thing. And these women are empowered by garments factories, so they can earn money, and they live around the garments factory somewhere, and they work over there. So garments factory provides the work opportunity for these poor women. So during this COVID-19, when the lockdown started in our country, and a lot of garments factories sacked their workers, and they lost their job because European and American buyers, they canceled their orders. So that's how these women got lost their job, and they don't have enough money to survive in the lockdown because they cannot go anywhere. And I shoot this project in Coral Slum in Dhaka, and Coral Slum is the biggest slum in Bangladesh. And more than 100,000 people live in Coral Slum, and most of them are workers of they work in garments factories, and mainly women, and the rest of the women work as a housemaid in many homes.
Yeah.
And the man work as a rickshaw puller on street in Dhaka. So I checked with many homes. It's a cluster of homes, little homes, you know. So like one room, and a lot of people lives. A full family lives over there. So it's like the family members are like at least 4. Yeah. Okay, so they live over there, and I talked to them, and I checked their food storage. And she got lost her job, and I told her, okay, let me check, if you don't mind, let me check your food storage, how much food you have for the rest of the week. Yes. And she showed me this much she had. I told her that, how much money do you have? She showed me she got 40 taka. It's like not even 50 cents, US 50 cents. And I told, are you the only earner in your home? And she said, yes, she is. And she has got 5 members. Wow. And her husband is jobless too during this COVID time. And both of them don't have any money left except this 40 taka. So how they gonna?
What they have, what is in the picture?
Yeah, how they gonna survive for the next day? So this was a question, and I checked randomly many houses over there, and how much food they have and how much money they do have. And then I produced this story that, and I have checked with a lot of information from newspaper and TV reports, that there is gonna be an economic recession is coming.
Of course.
Because a lot of people have lost their jobs, and they don't have any savings because they used to live hand to mouth. So then I published this story in Facebook, and I got contacted from La Mundi, you know, the newspaper from the France. And they later published this story, and France 24 TV interviewed me live, and later another French radio, they analyzed my story too. So that's how I produced this story, and I'm still continuing this story. I'll check again when I'll return from the Rohingya refugee camp. So what is their current condition? And a lot of garments factories right now are open, but they're maintaining the social distance and other precautions, but it is very difficult to maintain, you know, ignore the, this tiny virus. So it is a lot of garments workers are already infected, and you know, the vaccine is still underway. So when it's gonna be, it's gonna come to us, it's a question, and a lot of people will be infected by this time. And already a lot of garments factories lost orders, and they already shut down their factories, and they are under the debt from the bank, and many of the workers went back to their villages, and they lost their jobs too. So this is the scenario in Bangladesh, and if you consider the whole world, the jobless scenario is much bigger than, so everyone is going to face this economic recession.
Okay, can you come back to us? Can you unshare the screen?
Yes.
Yes. In fact, I wanted to ask you, what is the new project? What are you working for? Now you show us a bit what you are doing, that you already published in Le Monde, in France, and in other media. I mentioned in the beginning in the presentation of your work that you work for a lot of medias. It means every time in your Facebook we see where they publish your work, that it makes me very happy. I used to say always that all the people that is part of Belgrade Photo Month, normally they are coming, but also if not like you, for me, I feel you like one of us, like one of the family. And in the same way, I really feel part of your family somehow. And then always I am very happy when I see this beautiful news and this succeed. Then now your last project is this one that you talk about, and the ongoing project with the Rohingya. You have something else on mind now that you can talk, of course.
Yes. I actually explore a lot of things, and currently I'm pursuing an MFA degree. It's a hybrid course, and I'm studying at Ulster University in UK, and I'm going to learn a lot of things about the fine art photography, and I also produce digital art and appropriation art and film as well. So anyway, in that, I want to produce one story about depression, because I regularly encounter with lot of issues, and most of them are very violent and very traumatic. And this kind of stories actually also hurts me. And sometimes I feel cry inside me, and I get depressed that why is why this should be happened. So this should not be happened. Actually, we don't want it, and I don't want to take picture of the sufferers, and I don't want to take picture of the victims, and I don't want to take picture of the survivors. So they should be in peace. So in this world, so peace is very important, and we all are trying to bring peace. But there are some people probably who really don't like peace at all. They always make chaos, So that's the yes. This is very interesting and disgusting thing. And in my personal life, and this depression and this traumatic experiences, I sometimes really feel very low about it, and I want to make a project on depression, and sometimes how I feel. It's gonna be a poetic photographs of depression. So how does depression look like in my imagination and in my feelings? So I'll probably produce this project in next couple of months, I think.
Okay. Cool. Well, we'll see. We'll be following your work. I recommend everybody to follow his Facebook page. In the Facebook event and in all the posts that we did, his link, his Facebook page is linked. Also, in the Facebook event and the post, I think, is also your website. Please follow him, because you are doing a very good work. and you are making a very good human thing.
Thank you, David.
And well, just for ending a bit, just ask as usual, do you want to say something that probably we missed? Something that you want to say, to announce, whatever?
I actually want to say that, I'm a peace photographer. So this is the thing, and I love peace. So I want to reflect a beautiful thing like a beautiful flower garden and something like that. And that's what I want to shoot. And I want to shoot the forest with full of trees and, with ecology, proper ecology. So that's what I want. I don't want to shoot the polluted city or, the refugee thing, or I don't want to shoot like rape victims or survivors or any kind of survivors. So why we do this and why I do this, I want to change it. And I want to be their voice. And as I said, and we photographers are like, and we artists are like messenger, and you also the messenger too. And you are delivering these messages to other people so that we can learn the better thing, and we can change the world towards the peace. So we don't want any chaos in our society or on earth. We want to live peacefully. So I think everyone will stay safe, and everyone will be safe from this COVID-19 disease. So, and everyone will always be with the right thing, and everyone will always stand for the human rights. And this is very important to become a good human being. So that's the thing. And thanks to all of my audiences and my students and my teachers and who are listening to this conversation. And special thanks to you, and you are part of my family, David, and I consider you my big brother always. And I'm going to see you soon, probably next year. So
I will tell you, I prefer Bangladesh. I prefer to see you in Bangladesh than in Belgrade. But
you should. Yeah, you should come here. You can stay in my home. All right. So it's gonna be a very big fun, I think, if you can come here.
Sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to welcoming you.
See, you can see later in the Facebook page of Belgrade for the Month in the conversation, because there are a lot of people that admire so much, people that love you very much. You will see them. You will answer to them. You can say something to them. You will see, because they are there also. They are fans of your humanity,
Yeah, I love everyone. That's the thing.
I love
everyone.
I want to say
God bless everyone.
For us, for Belgrade for the Month theme, I will say that when we decide to include your project in Belgrade for the Month 2018, it was first, of course, because the work is impressive, but second, because that tragedy is something that we never read in the newspapers or in the TV in Serbia, but very rarely on that time in Europe. And for us, like a festival, we fell with a compromise with the society. And part of our compromise in that year, on 2018, it was to talk about the tragedy of the Rohingya, because of course we have very close to us a big tragedy with all the refugees that are coming from Syria and from these areas. That is a huge tragedy too, that they are walking and dying in between, but nobody talk about the Rohingya. And then for that reason, somehow we wanted to give this kind of visibility to your work, of course, but to the situation that on that time almost nobody talk about in Spain or in Serbia. Then suddenly, sometimes it goes in the news, but yeah. And then we like it also to put this little piece of sand or a little brick to do something. But okay, we do what we can.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing this Rohingya issue highlighted.
Yes. Okay.
It was very important.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And have a good evening.
You too, and be well, please.
Yeah, take care. I'll catch you soon.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much to all the audience who has been sharing the work of Hasan. Of course, it's not a happy work. Like he said, he would like to be showing other things, but this is the reality of our world, and this is what he would like to, well, he want to put light on, and for us, it's a bit the same. Thank you very much, and we keep in contact. Keep following Velvet One's page, Facebook page, and our activities. See you very soon. Thank you.